So I want to use a power series to approximate this integral, so I have to remember what cosine of x squared is. So cosine of x squared, I'm going to use my formula that I have. So it's n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the n, and I have over 2n factorial. And remember, since it's squared, instead of x to the 2n, it's going to be x to the 4n, because x squared to the 2n is x to the 4n. So my integral from 0 to 1 of cosine of x squared dx is the integral from 0 to 1 of the sum of n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the n x to the 4n over 2n factorial. So if I integrate that, I get n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the n over 2n factorial. And remember, I'm going to add 1, so this is x to the 4n plus 1 over 4n plus 1. And I'm going to evaluate that from 0 to 1. So if I evaluate it at 1, it's n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the n, 1 to the 4n plus 1, which just is 1, over 2n factorial 4n plus 1, minus the sum n equals 0 to infinity of -1 to the n, 0 to the 4n plus 1, which is 0, and so that becomes 0. So I just have this term here. So my error, I'm going to look at, this is just 1, I'm going to look at my error, so it's going to be 1 over 2n factorial times 4n plus 1. Okay, I need that to be less than 0.0001. So I need to look at some n's to see what works. At n equals 3, I have, well, I can rewrite this, right, as 10,000 is less than 4n plus 1 times 2n factorial. So when n is 3, I look at 4 times 3 plus 1 times 2 times 3 factorial, and that equals 9360 if you put it in your calculator. And at n equals 4, I have 4 times 4 plus 1 times 2 times 4 factorial, and that is 685440. So this is greater than 10,000, this is less than 10,000, so I need 4 terms. So I need 4 terms, so that gives me my integral from 0 to 1 of cosine of x squared dx is going to equal approximately the sum n equals 0 to 3, which gives me the 4 terms I need, of -1 to the n over 4n plus 1 times 2n factorial, this one right here. Okay, so actually this one right here, because I'm looking at 1. So if I calculate all that, plug it in and calculate those 4 terms, I get that the value is approximately 0.904523.